I can record. Yeah, I have started the recording just now. If you want this note, I can send you this recording. You can go through this whenever you want. And coming to the previous point, yes, it will be Angular 1.0 only. We are not going to discuss about Angular 2.0. Hope it is clear.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Now, Angular history, just now we were discussing. We are going to discuss about completely 1.0, so which is released in 2012. Okay, and we are not going to cover any Angular 2.0 something, because still I think there it may be already in live. In India, as you know, just now last month only it came to live, right? We lot of applications still an Angular 1.0 only. Okay, now let me start about introduction. So as we already discussed, it is a JavaScript framework, and we are mostly going to focus on the directives. The reason why we are giving most importance for the directives is, if you are familiar with these directives, the one more framework which is already on the board, which is already on the full swing, that is React.js, will be more useful for you. These directives components, these directives concept will be very nearer to that React.js, because it's basically, how can we say, dynamically creating one HTML element and playing around with this kind of concept we are going to cover in this directive. So that's why in this my training session I will be covering sorry, lots of stuff about directives only. The reason is, as you know, in Angular 2.0, this directives is one of the more component which they have given more preference, and other frameworks which is AngularJS competitor. Everybody assumes that it is AngularJS competitor. The React.js is also with the same kind of concept. That is one of the point, and it simplifies a lot of code. Directives will be more useful for us. Completely different new concept. This one. No, this we have already discussed. Let me explain you with a simple example whatever I have covered so far. So for this I am using Sublime, which will give us a HTML skeleton very fast, with the shortcuts. Now let me go to angularjs.org. Angular. So I am not using what you called any npm installs, any bower installs. I am straight away going and getting these CDN links, so which I am very much familiar with this. So either you can download this AngularJS file, by clicking this button, or you can use this CDN links for our document. And the second thing, while developing, please use AngularJS, just angular.js file, just angular.js file. The reason I will explain you why we have to use AngularJS, only AngularJS file. For example, let me create a module here. Let me create a simple variable where my app equal to this particular square brackets indicates that if this application is required any dependencies, then we are going to inject here. So that is called what do you call dependency injection. So it is mandatory in this syntax. We may need to place this one, but right now we are not depending on any another plugins or any other dependency. So it will be blank now. But in future, in our coming sessions, if we are playing around with any other components which need to be injected, it will be injected here. So this is what the provision is there to inject the external module. So you what? Okay, now what this line is going to do? What this line is going to do? So what it will happen? It will create an object. It will create a Angular object, and that particular object will be stored in this my app. So how can I say this is an object? So just let me Google it. Sorry, console it. Console.log my app. Okay, when I run this, so I'll be using Chrome. When I debug this stuff, see, you can see this line number 12, which is this one, line number 12, this one. I have got an object. So in this, there will be a lot of methods or inbuilt methods are there, like in animation, component, config, and constant, controllers, decorator, directive, factory, filter. So this completely is going to represent an object. So which sorry, it will be an object which is representing AngularJS. This and all the methods is available for us to use in our HTML document. So what I am going to do? Let me inject this. Let me initiate this, since I have created an object here by using ng app, which defines AngularJS application. It defines an Angular application equal to this particular word which I have given inside the code. This is the module name. I'm going to add it here. So this is a basic HTML Angular skeleton. If I run, hope there is no error. Okay, now you just imagine the reason why I have explained you to use angular.js instead of angular.min.js. So if by intentionally I am doing a mistake here, so I am removing the square bracket. I am just declaring like this. So that's a typo mistake, some kind of thing. So if I refresh this document, you can see there is an error here. Module my app is not available. You either misspelled the module name or forget to load it. Something it's giving you the clear picture that my app is not available here, which you have injected in the HTML document. Okay, if what will happen if I have used min.js, which is the minified version of the Angular. So this error won't be readable for you. It cannot be complete information won't be there because it's a minified version. Debugging will be always difficult. So in the initial stage, while developing an initial stage, please do use a full version of the library file. Either it could be jQuery or Angular. Don't go for the minified version, at least in the initial stage, in the development stage. While you are deploying the code, while it is going on live, means at the time of production, you go ahead with whatever minified versions. Ultimately, that moment of time you want to reduce the burden of the server, that's fine. But at least in the development stage, you please do use angular.js file or any full version. Don't use for the minified version, which will be more helpful for us to debug the stuff. Okay, is it clear?
Murali, this is Purnima here.
Yeah, Purnima, tell me.
So where you are typing this script, so is this any special editor or any?
Very similar to Notepad++, called Sublime. Nothing much special about it. Just you can download it. There is
Can you spell that app?
yeah, Sublime. Oh yeah, I will type here.
Okay.
Sublime.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, sure. Okay, now
Murali Prasanna here. So what ID are you using?
come again.
What IDE are you using
I'm not using any
for
IDE. I'm just
verifying?
using Notepad editor. I'm not at all touching any IDE.
Okay, because it gave you auto suggestions, right?
Yeah, this Sublime, it is having auto suggestions. That intellectuality is there in Sublime. Once you attach the library file, you will get this. It's very similar to Notepad++.
Okay, okay, fine.
Okay, now. Okay, this is what I meant to say. The first point which I would like to mention is please do use the full version. Don't go for the minified version. Now, let me come to the next module, which is called controller. So if you see in this browser, it's not there. Just now I refreshed. My app dot controller. So here I am using one of the most important binding component of an AngularJS scope, which is called service, that is inbuilt service. It will take the responsibility of conveying, of transporting this whatever data we are going to declare it here. So it will make sure that that will be available for our HTML document inside this controller. Means this, for example, if I have a div here and with one of the built-in directive, I am pronouncing as one of the built-in directive controller equal to my controller. So the scope of all the objects or methods, whatever I am going to define in this my controller will be available in this particular div. This scope, this particular object which I am going to create over here will be available for this div. So outside of this div, we won't be able to access any of the methods or any of the object, whatever the information which is related to my controller here. Is this clear so far?
Yeah, good, Murali. We are good.
Yeah. Okay, fine. And the second thing, I can create a number of controllers as per my convenience. Like if you see some e-commerce applications like Flipkart or Amazon, something like that, you will be seeing one category wise listing. So that particular category related information I can create as a controller. In that controller, whatever the information I do have, I'm going to define it. That particular components information coming to the HTML portion in that particular div or particular page or particular section, the details will be available as it like this. So we can create whatever the controllers we want. Now let me explain you with an example here. For example, so I have to prefix this dollar scope as I told you. Dollar scope dot name equal to Murali. Okay. Now how can I display this Murali information? Murali in this controller is I have to use double curly braces, which is called expressions. It is called expression. Inside this, I can directly type this name. So this will bind. This will immediately initiate this particular. It will look for the controller. Yes, it exists, and then it will look for the name which is having a prefix of the dollar scope. Once it is find, then immediately what do you call it? It will capture this information and it will display it here. Okay. Now let me run this. What happened? Some error it seems. Yeah, I think I have not cleared the square bracket. Now you can see here. Okay. As I told you, if I would like to access this particular name outside of the div, I won't be able to access this. It's not at all visible here because availability is not there, scope is not there. This particular what do you call this particular name variable scope ends here only in this div only. If I have one more controller, something like this, my app dot controller, my controller 2 function. Let me use the scope dollar scope dot full name equal to. So let me create one more div here. Ng controller equal to my controller 2. In this, if I use this full name, I'll get it. See, this is coming from controller 1, this is coming from controller 2. And this is called inbuilt service. Of course, we are going to deal with custom services as well. And this is called inbuilt directives. This is one of the inbuilt directive which is going to initiate the controller which we have declared in this module, and this is going to define this particular document which we are working right now is an AngularJS application. It is not routine HTML page. This will define that particular meaning, and this is going to initiate that the controllers. The scope is going to act as a bridge between the what do you call it, from controller, from module to HTML page, from JS to front end. Clear so far? Any doubts? Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So now let me discuss about one more directives which is called ng model. Let me create one input field, type text, and ng model equal to name, entered name. Now then I am going to type it enter name. What this ng model is going to do here is, whatever the information you are going to type in this particular input field, whatever information we are going to type in this particular text field will be captured by this ng model, and then wherever you are going to use this particular word, that entered name, it will be binded to that particular place. For example, if I have done like this, you can see now it is binded to that. When I entered something here, it will be automatically bind. So we know how much difficult, how much code we have to do to get this kind of effect in JavaScript or jQuery. We may need to create one function and we have to invoke it on key press or key down, something like that. Then there are a lot of stuff to be covered to do this kind of effect. But what can I say? Practically, this kind of situation will arise or not, that is immaterial. That is different story. But to do this kind of effect, we have to do lot of coding part in JavaScript and jQuery. In this particular example, you can see the binding, means the two-way data binding, means whatever we are entering here, it is going to the module, then it is going to, whatever we are entering here in this input field, it is going to the ng model directive. It is going to the particular variable through ng model directive. Through ng model directive, then this particular value will be displaying it here in this page. And you can see there is one little bit simple confusion will be there. Ng model and module. Module is completely different, which contains all the controller and all the other AngularJS related information. And this model is only one inbuilt directive, one inbuilt directive, which will help us to bind the data. Clear? Okay. Now I will take one more simple what do you call it, example on scenario which we do practice in JavaScript and jQuery, and then how it can be covered in AngularJS. So which is one of the most important component, Ajax. How difficult, how much effort we may need to spend, in JavaScript and jQuery and Angular. I will just bifurcate. I will show you the three main difference between these three parts. If I would like to get some data in JavaScript through Ajax, I may need to create a lot of stuff like this. So let me create a simple button here in this ng app. Button. So get data. On click. So let me create a simple function here. When I run this, when I click this button, okay, I am getting the alert message, means so far whatever I am doing incorrect way. Okay. Now come back to the code. The point which I am covering now here is how can I get the data through Ajax in JavaScript. Hope it is clear what I am trying to do here. Then I will explain you how can I get the data in jQuery. Then how can I get the data in Angular. The thing I would like to explain is what is the difference between these three, why AngularJS is better when comparing these two, how simplified it is when compared to other two components, other two methods of getting data. Now let me create a variable get students equal to new XML HTTP, or it should not have space, HTTP request console.log. Okay, now get students dot on ready state change equal to a function if get student dot ready state equal to 4 and dot status equal to 200 console dot log dot response text. No. That open method is get. So for this practice purpose, I am using filltext.com, which from where we can get some dummy data. So copy this URL, then paste it here. Get students dot send. That's it. See, I got the data. This particular stuff is pure plain JavaScript, from how we can get the data. Now same thing, let me comment this. Let me get the data through jQuery. $.get, sorry, $.get this URL, comma function, console.log. I need jQuery file. Let me try to get it some jQuery file. jQuery file service desktop. Control A, Control C, Control U, Control E, Control S. jQuery. So let me add it to this library script. Source equal to jQuery dot js. Let's run this. I got the data. So without what do you call the clicking button itself, I got the data. The reason is this: I have not put inside this function. Now let me move this code inside this function. Now this is how we can do it in jQuery. Now Let me comment this. Now let me explain how can I do it in Angular. So to do that, first thing I have to move it through this any one of the controller. Okay, I have moved it to the first controller. Next, go back to the first controller. Use an inbuilt service $http, then $http dot get. Inside this, just paste this URL. After that, after the success of this message, success, I am going to invoke a function. In this function, I will be capturing the data which I am going to receive it from the service. Then console.log data. This completely, inside that particular function, right? So let me comment this also here. Copy this word. Go to the controller. $scope start get data equal to a function. Sorry, equal to a function. Inside this function, I'm going to invoke this. Let me cut and move it to inside the function. See? Now I click this button. Get data is not defined. Acha, this is not ng click. I on click, this should be ng click. $http is not a wait function. Okay, go to the code. What could be the error? Giving some problem for me. Control C. Let me paste it outside. Mhm. Click OK. And this is console.log $HTTP it is available here, line number 35. Okay, $http.get copy dot access function data console.log data. Why it is I'm getting this error?
Murali, it is saying success is not a function. Is this defined something differently?
No, this is a proper syntax for this. When it is success, then only after this success only I'm going to invoke this function. Success is not a function. $HTTP dot success is not a function. That's what it is telling.
Is a case sensitive, Murali?
I don't think so. There is any case sensitive issues could be here.
For success, it should be yes, should be up.
No, there is no case sensitive. 1 second, let me check with the HTTP syntax. Can use then. Okay, let me run this. Oh, I got in. Then why I have not got this success? Okay, success I am not able to get it. Only then it is getting invoked. Angular maybe it may be issue with the library file also. Maybe in the new version success is not supporting. Just let me check with the existing versions. Second. So I'm attaching the local which I have downloaded file, the previous library file. Now just let me remove this. If I run this, yes, the latest CDN file is not supporting the success. Success one is not supporting by the latest CDN file. Then it is supporting. Then I think we may need to check the success. Okay. So if I go back to the previous version like CDN, then I think I am getting error. Okay. So this success is not getting supported by the latest CDN files. Control Y. So if I attach the older version of Angular min.js, I think it is getting supported. Cool. Clear? Any doubt so far?
We are good, Murali.
Okay, fine. Now, so this is what about what we can do with AngularJS, and coming to the sessions. What I am going to cover is we will be building some around 4 to 5 complete modules, CRUD applications, which will cover create, read, update, delete. So the reason why I have selected CRUD applications is, as you know, any one of these particular component, either it could be create, read, update, delete, will definitely will be in our real-time projects. Whichever projects we are going to jump in, there, whatever the requirement given by the company, the particular requirement could be fit into any one of these categories. So let me show you some of the CRUD applications which I have built. If you would like to use any IDE, you can go for it. I have used my Visual Studio, but it is not mandatory. Technical requirement is not there. But if you want to make it, Mamata, I am not able to understand, as we have scope to get all HTML elements. What does mean? Can you unmute and explain?
Yeah, Murali, what my doubt is, what does $HTTP contains? As we have already $scope, which we can get from the $scope all the HTML element to access, right?
Yeah, fine. See, this
What is
dollar.
the $HTTP?
Yeah, sorry for the interruption. Please continue. I got your doubt.
That's
I got your doubt. I can explain. Yeah, this dollar scope is going to be the bridge between module and HTML document as per my previous statement. And now coming to dollar $HTTP, dollar scope will bring the HTML elements from module to HTML page, but dollar $HTTP will what do you call get the responsibility to get the data from the other server. It could be in some other places. Basically, it's take the what do you call it, works. It is an Ajax. It's a server communication. For example, you have a data which you need to get it from the server. So with the dollar scope, you cannot able to get the data from the server. With dollar HTTP, you can get the server data from the server. Basically, what do you call it? It interacts
Backend in.
between server and the front end page. Server and front end.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
If you want to get the data or if you want to post the data, all these get and send request will be handled by dollar $HTTP.
Yes, got it. Thank you.
Now, yeah, coming to the CRUD applications which we are going to cover. Okay, this is one of the application which we are going to cover. It's a complete CRUD application and based on the RESTful services. So we are going to cover the capture the RESTful service, and then while scrolling, we will get automatically data. Means once you reach to end of the document, then we are going to send the request to the server, and then once again we will go into get the data from the server. Then we are going to populate it here. If you would like to edit any one of this particular what happened? Just practice. The same application. So I can create a new database and I can edit the database. I can edit any one of the records. I can delete if I want. So I can sort it as per my requirement. I think sorting is we are working on it. Still the sorting is there. So this is also same kind of CRUD application. Once you reach to end of the document, we will going to send the AJAX request once again, and we are going to create a number of controllers for this. Let me show this controllers and directives. Person detail controller, person detail controller is this particular part, the right side part. This is the particular right side part, and person controller is this one, where we will be displaying all the data. So these are some of the applications which we are going to cover, the major application. Apart from this, at the time of what do you call it, a discussion, like when once we are covering $HTTP, we do develop some of the simple application, like getting some data. For this, I am going to use this filtix.com, which is the dummy data provider for us, so that how to get this data from the other server, how to display in our current document, and how to edit it, how to add it. This kind of stuff I will explain you in detail, step by step. Then what else? That's it. These are the applications we are going to cover it. Then some of the real-time scenarios in my personal life which I have come across, which I feel which could be helpful for you people. That also I do explain. You can ask whatever doubt if you people are having any doubts. Please go ahead. Any doubts? If you would like to ask anything, you can ask.
Hey, Murali, this is Ganesh. So, do you provide this any kind of these scripts, any document, any links to us, or?
Sure. Completely. It will be sent to you people, everything. You mean today's document or today's training, or you mean asking the entire training sessions document?
No, in general, I mean, any
Yes, everything I will
documentation.
be providing. Everything, even the PPTs, what do you call the videos and whatever the coding. Sometimes I will become the explanation and you will become the presenters. For example, if I have given some assignments, for example, in one of my other training sessions for the JavaScript and jQuery, I have given some 20 assignments for my people, for my students. So just let me open this. Let me explain this. So these are some of real-time scenarios, real-time repeated example, repeated challenges which we do face. As a team leader, I am following some of the people who is there in my team, who exactly where they are exactly getting suffering. If a person is entering into the company, for example, let me introduce. I am, as I told you, I am Murali. I am working in HP. I am one of the person who is sitting in interview panel. So I know exactly what a candidate's stamina is while speaking with him for 10 to 15 minutes. The kind of impression will be completely different once they started working actually. 10 minutes is not going to be sufficient to gauge a candidate. So once they started working with us in team, so we will be able to find where exactly they are getting stuck. Based on that study, I have created some applications which may look like general applications, but still it will be more useful for us once we start getting this kind of challenges. Now coming to your point, after giving these assignments to that student, I will ask them to share their screen. Then I will inspect. I will go through the code line by line. If wherever they get stuck, I will explain them. Then I will send them the my code, whatever I have done. See, as you know, JavaScript and jQuery is, everybody way of thinking will be different. If I can do that same thing in 10 lines, there are one more master who can do it in 5 lines. It is different, right? Candidate's capability. So
Right.
by sending my code, if he can able to verify it, his code and my code, definitely if anything best he can do it, he can do it. If anything best he can suggest to me, I can modify it. It's win-win situation for us. I do send all the materials. I am not going to get anything.
Thanks, Murali.
Yeah, thanks for that. Is there anything else?
Now, Murali, one more thing. Like, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Like, I joined little late. I got this
No
from my
issue.
friend.
It's just,
Yeah.
Yeah, please.
So it is going to be, it is going to be a daily session or a weekly? I mean, what is your availability? Are you going
It
to?
will be daily session. If some of you people may not be able to attend the daily session, if you can able to let me know and your feasible time, we will discuss mutually. We can fix up any one time. That time can be suitable for us. Maybe weekends or weekdays, maybe alternate days. It will be only thing is whatever time which you prefer. If I can able to accommodate myself in that particular time slot, I am okay with that. I am not at all going to what do you call it? Stick to the time. It will be flexible.
Yeah,
Definitely it will be
yeah, makes sense.
by considering your timing preferences.
Yeah,
But
sure,
my
Murali.
time schedule as well. If I have already another sessions, if I may not be able to accommodate myself in that particular time slot, I will definitely request you people to shuffle the time.
Yeah, one final question. Sorry, I'm asking many questions.
No, I
One
am
final
okay.
thing
At
is,
you are asking. I am asking others. Please do ask some questions so that whatever times I have spent so far, I think whether I have successfully injected the concept into your mind or not, those kind of doubt will be there in my mind, right? Please do ask some questions.
Yeah, one final question for now. So how many sessions do you think that is good to start working on AngularJS? What do you
2 weeks,
think? How
Ganesh.
many days?
Preferably 2 weeks. And
Okay.
sessions, I am talking about sessions. 10 days to 2 weeks is good with the is proper time, time allocation. And
Understood.
practice allotment, it's up to you. Minimum, I personally feel at least some 3 to 4 hours. Basically, basic from basic to expertise, 2 weeks with daily 4 hours. I think it's done.
Okay. Understand. Understand.
But once again, the point to be noted is you have to practice it. Don't just
Yeah.
go through the tutorials. Don't just keep on seeing the what do you call tutorial materials and all those things. Get into code. Start doing some mistakes. Start doing something. You daily
Great. Yeah.
we are going to discover. See, I am working with $HTTP daily, morning, evening, the 2 to 3 sessions daily I am working. But unfortunately I have not used the CDN link directly as I done today. So the moment I have what do you call start playing with the CDN link, I came to know that dollar success is not working with the CDN link. Now I have to find out why, what is the reason now, whether it is deprecated or not. I have to go through that. So as you know, as you people know that our technology is changing day by day. And I think by end of this month, or by 2 to 3 weeks, you will be having some good amount of knowledge about AngularJS 1. But it is already AngularJS 2 is already on the board. Already some companies are keep they are asking, do you know AngularJS 2, something like that. So maybe once we get into this, there are some components which will be covering in AngularJS 2 as well. But directly you can't jump into AngularJS 2 without knowing AngularJS 1, right? So you have to what do you call it? Make yourself free. Think. Just try to convert a routine JavaScript application into AngularJS. Take one HTML document, a plain HTML document, do, excuse me, download it, try to convert this into the AngularJS application, which will
Yeah, one thing, Murali, yeah, sure. One thing I heard, like Angular 2, the syntax is entirely different
right.
compared to
Correct.
1.5.
Actually,
I'm just
the
wondering, like,
reason
how
you can't
far
take AngularJS
1.5 helps.
2, because normally what will happen, if we are dealing with the higher versions, we are dealing with the latest versions. In our mind, what will be there? Our syntax should be same. Only thing is some additional functionality is there. Example,
That's right.
HTML 4 and 5 doesn't have much difference. CSS 2 and 3 doesn't have much difference. jQuery latest version to new version doesn't have much difference. But Angular, it is not like that.
Exactly.
Angular,
I heard, like,
yes,
there's no backward compatibility.
yes.
Yeah, that's what I
Angular
heard.
JS
Yeah.
is similar to React JS. I'm not
Uh-huh.
telling in terms of coding. I'm not telling in terms of coding. I'm not telling in terms of syntax. I'm telling in terms of concept.
Understand.
There are some additional features because React.js is completely based on the dynamically created components. Means one component will be created in dynamically and it will be kept in memory. It won't be put in the document. So which will ultimately speed up. For example, you just imagine you have thousands lines of code. In that 1,000 lines of code, you want to change only one HTML element. In JavaScript, what we do, document.get element by ID, go to that particular element, do some manipulation for that. That's how we do it in JavaScript, right?
Mm-hmm.
In Angular also, we will scan the entire document. We will pick that particular HTML component which we need and which we are going to do the manipulation. But coming to React.js, this process is not going to be there. They will create a virtual DOM, virtual, it will be, a dynamic virtual element which will be created in memory. Then and there, it will go and straight away inject into that particular element, which will improve speed like anything. That's why React.js is very fast. So these kind of creating component and injecting, I think I was told by somebody, I have not went through AngularJS 2.0. I have not even touched so far. But whatever understanding I am having, whatever imagination I am having behalf of AngularJS 2, I'm telling. So this kind of React.js components, they are balancing in Angular 2. So that the person who is completely into Angular development should not face any problem because he don't know React.js. That's what the motto is.
Understand, Murali. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Is anything else I can? Okay then. If there is no doubt, I can conclude this class, and you can come back to me if everything is okay. Regarding the time slots or timings, you can I think speak to the H2K Infosys people. Then we can schedule it and we can start the classes if anybody interested.
Murali, how can we get back to you? Do you
I
provide
think
your email ID or?
you might have received any communication from H2K Infosys people, right?
Not yet.
No, then how do you come to know this demo?
In fact, one of my friend, he forwarded this one to me.
Okay.
So I just joined. Yeah.
Acha, okay. Let me just give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I will try to get the communication, man. Yeah, please communicate to this mail ID, and I think they will revert back to you.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Murali.
Okay, thanks a lot. Nice talking to you people. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Same. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, Mamta Garu, do you want to ask something? Okay, Ganesh Garu. Okay then, bye.
Okay, bye.